Okay, so I'm going to keep this really short and sweet because no one wants to hear me talk, and the bus kitchen is completely finished. It's behind me, I'm blocking the view, and I just want you guys to see it. But I just thought I would say, like, I know it's been over 1.5 years since the day I got the bus, and it's been a long time coming, I guess. And even though I've like tried to show the real and honest bus build, like today you're going to see the finished product, and that's amazing. But even though I've tried to be transparent as possible, it's been so difficult, and without my dad's help, you'll see in this video, he does 90% of the work. I literally just do painting. I help him hold stuff while he cuts and screws. Yeah, I've done painting. I've installed like the kitchen drawers, but even he had to help me with that. And like a few bits and bobs, like I do work and pay for everything and come up with the colours and designs I want, but he has done 90% of the work, and I wouldn't be here without him. But even with his help, like full time, it's so difficult. Like I don't even know, but it's just like now that the kitchen is finally done and we're only like in the 5th month of 2024 of this year, it's so rewarding. Like it's just, I'm so stoked. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, or if you have any questions. I try to my biggest thing with this bus build is I try to explain everything as thorough as possible, because I used to and still do watch people's bus builds on YouTube, and people just go like, click, it's all done. Like people don't put in the details, which makes it so hard for people like me and my dad who have never done this before or aren't like tradies. Like my dad's an engineer, so I try to be give as much information as possible, so hopefully that comes across in all my videos. But yeah, I was gonna make a fancy intro in daylight and when there's better lighting, but I don't really care. I just want to get this video out because I'm so stoked about my kitchen, and I hope you enjoy this video. Make sure you like and subscribe. So to start off with, my dad drilled another 2 water fillers into the bus. One was just a regular filler for my tanks, and the other one was a mains water inlet if I'm on a campground. We did some amending to the water tanks. My dad did this really smart thing where he drilled a normal hole into my water tank and used a brass fitting to create a threaded hole, which was super cool. And he did some plumbing, which I'll show you later. Then we did a little water test, and we did actually have leaks, so always test before you start building around your plumbing system. Onto the overhead kitchen cabinets build. I'm going to show you part 1 here, and the second part is at the end of this video because we did do it in 2 stages. But essentially, I don't really have a step-by-step video of the frame build because my dad actually came up with the entire concept himself, and he built it all himself as well. But the main thing I can tell you is that instead of using screws, which were really difficult to install because of how curved this part of the bus is, he used a lot of wooden dowels and nuts and bolts, which you can see here in a second, to make it super secure. So I guess just take what you can from this video, just like have a look at it, and maybe you can use it as inspiration for your own. So here's a view of the frame when it was fully completed, and then we started to line the back of it with the ceiling. So finally, after nearly 2 years, it was time to build the kitchen. So my dad started by building this frame to go underneath the kitchen, because essentially normally a kitchen in a house is on these little legs, but obviously in a bus everything has to be secured down so it doesn't fall over. So he built this frame which we used Sikaflex and big and small L brackets to secure into the ground, to then mount the kitchen to that so it was completely foolproof and solid. So I ended up going with an Ikea Kitchen. Here's my mum, she wanted to be in the video, she helped me set them up, which was super easy, and then we put all of the cabinets into place and had a little bit of a look, and then we started to secure them. So essentially the bus walls are curved, so we had to put this wood on the wall, which we then used more L brackets to screw the cabinets to these like wood rail, I guess, and that made it super secure. So the kitchen is screwed into the floor mount and the walls. And then we used cabinet connectors to connect the actual cabinets to each other to give that extra bit of security, I guess. And then the backings of Ikea kitchens are like almost like cardboard, so we just cut out the holes for the plumbing and the gas where it was needed, and it ended up being pretty simple. Like there was a few complicated parts, but I think it was much easier than building your own from scratch. Something that might be helpful for you is we did have to modify the Ikea kitchen to go around the wheel arch, so we just cut out the right hand side and then we raised the floor of it up, so that's what you can see here. So then next thing I knew, we were back at Ikea and we thought we may as well just get the bench top and get one set of drawers now, just to have a look and see if the drawers fit with the gas and the water plumbing being in the cabinets, which they did end up fitting. So we got all of the drawers and I built them all together with my sister, which was super fun. But yeah, I definitely recommend Ikea. It ends up being about the same cost and weight as if you build your own kitchen from scratch. And obviously, building your own, you can customize everything more. But I feel like Ikea is super customizable anyway. And it genuinely saved us months of labor because all you do is screw it together and that's pretty much it. So obviously I know to some people it's not that much of a big deal, but when the first drawers went in, it was generally one of the happiest days in the bus build. I just felt like finally everything was coming together and my vision of all the colours started to match and align, and I don't know, I just felt like after so many months of like not seeing much progress, it just felt amazing. And then even when we unwrapped the bench top, it just felt like all the colours finally came together and I could really see how much work has gone into the bus, and I'm so grateful for my dad because he's literally the reason that the bus has gotten this much done in these few months. My dad wanted me to show you this really cool hack he came up with to get the exact holes he had to drill for the stove, because the stove was really tight to put on, but he just basically put cotton swabs into the parts where the screws go into and he put some paint on them and then he dabbed it on, and then he found the perfect holes he had to drill because it was really a really small area we had to drill. We then got on to installing these locking latch handles from a brand called RV Labs. They just lock your drawers while you're driving so they don't fly open. And we just screwed it into the drawers, which was quite difficult, and then we installed the striker plate in the bottom of the bench top and the bottom of the top drawer. They do look amazing, but it was quite hard to install, and I really found it frustrating that they don't come with an instruction manual. Like, we had to look at YouTube videos, which I thought was annoying, especially because they're quite expensive, but they look amazing. I guess you just need to do a lot of research to install them. Alright, onto my little splashback build. So I ended up deciding to have a splashback around my sink and a little bit further so I can put a PowerPoint in there. I'm not having one around my stove because it's not legal since it's going to be too close to the stovetop. But I'm having one around the sink, so here's kind of what we did. And then for the tiles, I ordered these stick-on tiles, which you'll see in a second. And I didn't really want a splashback at first, but it does make sense because water would literally have been running onto my bed. So here's how we did that. So these are the tiles I've chosen. They're stick-on tiles because you can just cut them with a Stanley knife. Like, I would love to have used normal tiles, but obviously you can't. You need like a proper thing to cut real tiles, and they're heavy, and you can't really buy enough tiles because normally there's like a minimum order of like 3 square meters of tiles. So I only have this small area,